Okay, so let's talk about soreness versus injury. Sometimes they can be easily confused with each other. Now let's go with soreness first. So let's say you have a good workout, you just nail a workout, and or you do something different that you're not used to. Those things can lead to soreness. So if you run a fast race and you just set a huge PB, you might have some soreness as well there to it. And this is all normal stuff. And soreness, you'll generally see the peak of it around 24 to 48 hours post specific activity. Okay. Again, it's the body's response. It's normal, but things to keep in mind, things to look out for. All right, and we'll stay here. Soreness. It can be stiffness, a little bit of achy, a little bit tight in certain areas and muscle areas. Again, normal, but it's something to monitor after 24 to 48 hours. All right. After 3 days, if it doesn't start to subside or go down a little bit, then you could be, it could be a sign of a potential minor injury, and hopefully not something major. So these things are important to keep in mind, keep an eye on. Okay. And again, soreness can easily mask in some way or cover up for an injury. So that's why paying attention to what you do after a run or a workout is important. Okay, and not before as well, of course. Stretching, resting, icing, ice baths, obviously, or soaking your legs in an ice bath. Not just putting in a bag full of ice cubes. Soaking in an actual ice bath or soaking your feet. An ice bath is optimal. Optimal. 10 to 15 minutes max. Massages on occasion, and just keep in mind, don't substitute stretching for massage. Massage does not increase your range of motion, your flexibility. Stretching does, and the right stretching routine is something very, very important to learn. I encourage you to take a look at my stretching videos on this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that right now and hit the notification so you can take advantage of these things. Training videos, 200 plus for your middle distance all the way up to marathon. Coaching tips, injury prevention, strength training, workouts galore, fully detailed training programs. The content on this channel is something you don't want to ignore. Okay? Share this with other coaches. Share this with other people in the running community. My goal is to get this out to a broader running community so people can benefit from this. And I am speaking from 2 decades of experience as a former competitive runner and a coach. Okay? So these things I do speak from experience. So those are kind of signs of soreness. Okay? Now, going over to injury, and then keep in mind, pain itself doesn't necessarily equate to improvement. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to hurt to get better. Okay? Sometimes it feels good to do that, but it's not required. Okay? At the end of the day, if you have a good workout, you should essentially feel like you could do a little bit more. So signs of progress should be gradual. And if you do it gradual, then you're also setting yourself up for big leaps of improvement. But gradual is the key. Okay? And if you're going to watch any 2 videos on this channel, watch my 1 mile time trial video and watch my video on how to set the right training paces based on what you run, because then it makes sure that you're training or your athletes are training in the right pace ranges to help minimize any risk of injury. Okay, that is absolutely critical if you're a coach or an athlete. I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, so back to this. Injury could also be a sharp pain, okay, in a certain area. Let's just say it's your groin or your knee or whatnot, or soleus, which is essentially the midpoint between your gastrocnemius, your calf, down to your Achilles. That's that mid part. A lot of folks get soleus aches and pains, or even sometimes soleus injuries, Achilles, areas like that. So things to keep in mind. But a good flexibility and stretch routine can help mitigate a lot of these things, can help essentially throw WD-40 on your muscles and joints to help fire them up and get them ready for activity. Okay, an active stretch routine will do that more than a static stretch routine. Okay, watch out for swelling. Swelling's another sign of a potential injury. Okay, and necessarily if it doesn't ease up after a couple days, then it's more likely you have a minor injury. Okay, so it's something to monitor. And being injured does not mean do nothing. Okay, it doesn't mean just take off a week, take off 2 weeks. That's not necessarily going to keep or promote recovery and maintain fitness. Okay, and I'll give you an example. When I was in college running, I got a stress fracture on the top of my foot, and I couldn't run for 12 weeks. So I was in the pool for 90 minutes to 2 hours, twice per day, 6 days per week for 12 weeks. The only reason I couldn't do it on Sundays is because the pool wasn't open. So I would just do a long walk or something, or a good stretch routine. But I stayed very, very, very active. I maintained my fitness, and then when I got the green light again to run, I was already fit. Okay, it was an easier transition back into running rather than just sitting and doing nothing. Because doing nothing again is not necessarily going to speed up the recovery process either. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. But these injuries, you'll feel a pop, you'll feel a twinge, you'll feel a twist where you know right away, okay, something just happened. That's different than being a little stiff after a hard workout or whatnot. So you'll be able to tell the difference. Okay, and again, maintaining fitness throughout an injury is something that is doable. Okay, but it's also what's also important is identifying between soreness and injury. And again, soreness does not necessarily mean take 2-3 days off until the soreness goes away. If your goal is to get fit, taking off multiple days is not going to accomplish that. Okay? That's just the bottom line. Let's be real about that right now. Okay? You do running in between. If you're not injured, you can run. My general rule of thumb as a coach is the only time is a guaranteed day off is if you have a fever. If you have a fever on a day, there's absolutely no running until the fever goes away for 24 hours. Period. Okay? Soreness, you run the next day, you stretch. It helps speed up the recovery process if you do it right. But it's also, this whole another part of the puzzle is gradual progression. Okay? Not doing too much too soon, not trying to keep up with the fitter or faster people that might be in your group, or vice versa if your fitness or their fitness is not there yet. That's why training in the right pace ranges is important. Always. That's why doing the right warm-up routine or stretch routine is important before and or after workouts. Okay? These things are important. If you're going to do these activities, putting the right pieces together sequentially is going to help maximize your performance, it's going to help keep you healthy. Okay? Or keep your athletes healthy. So, just wanted to go over a couple different things between soreness and injury because they are not the same. Okay? And what you do proactively will help you either get over it or prevent it, or identify between the two. So I hope you found this helpful. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you next time.